Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of Alter Ego. A little note beforehand, apparently the game does not save. I mean, there are a few files on there already, but I don't know of any way that a certain file can supersede that one, or overwrite it, whatever the word I need to use is. But so I don't think it should have much, if any, effect on our playthrough here. We'll still be playing as a dude named Simon. We're going to go through his childhood today. So yeah, let's do that. Welcome to childhood. Practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things, and thence proceed to greater. Epictetus, 50 to 120 AD. Discourses, Book 1, Chapter 18. Okay, so nothing has changed on the sides there. I believe adolescence is where we see our first things on the sides other than stats and age. Let's see how different this Simon is. This incarnation of Simon. See, I don't think it'll have much effect. He has less money. That's the only difference here. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what happens. Mom has just taken a job that requires to be away in the morning and early afternoon. She decides to enroll you in a nursery school program. Upon your arrival, you are greeted by another lady with very skinny legs and large round glasses. There are children playing with buckets of sand, building blocks, and other activities. There's a small boy sitting in a corner with tears streaming from his eyes, a runny nose, and cheeks red from crying. You know, we were such a nice little boy for his infancy. So let's start being a bad boy. Let's be angry and give the lady with the skinny legs a left hook. What a nasty little boy! I'll bet you chose this because you thought you might hit her. She ducks your punch and places you firmly on the floor. Next, she reads you the riot act. You will behave appropriately. There will be no hitting. Misbehaving will be dealt with severely. This lady's all business. They don't call her Old Iron Shins for nothing. Your mom's in the bathtub taking a nice relaxing bath. You are playing quietly in your room. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings. Mom doesn't seem to hear it. Must be nonchalant and answer the door. A salesman is at the door. He looks like a nice man. You say, "Just a minute," and you close the door. You tell Mom. She asks you to tell the man to please come back another day. You tell the man, please come back another day, and Mommy is wet and naked and can't come out. Let's do that one. The man chuckles and says something under his breath and goes away. You've been invited to a sleepover at your friend's house. This is your first sleep-away experience. Let's be excited and go as soon as possible, because that's fun. Your choices show an impulsiveness and a lack of appreciation for the security your parents provide. Not necessarily. Okay, if you have a bad dream at your friend's house tonight, do you think his parents are going to let you into their bed? Well, he's got a point here, but I mean, I love my house, but I've always been excited when I've gone over to a friend's house, especially when I was younger. You know, I don't know. While you're playing quietly in your room, you are startled by loud muffled sounds coming from someplace else. It seems your parents are having a terrible fight over something. Your father's deep voice seems to be shaking the whole house. Your mother's piercing screams sound like she's being hurt terribly. Now, you probably know what is going on here already. Of course I know what's going on. But I believe this vignette is one of two things. One of them being the obvious one, and there's another one. I believe it's this vignette. I don't know what determines it, if it's just random, on which outcome it's going to be. So, let's see what happens. Let's be calm, and go see what is happening. The noises are coming from the bedroom. Their door is open just a crack. You can... Let's peek inside. Okay, yeah, it's the obvious one. It might have been another vignette that was something else. Because I seem to recall that they're actually watching... I seem to Yeah, I seem to recall doing this one before, and it turns out they were watching a comedy movie, and were laughing really loud. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm mistaken, or I don't know what determines it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they hear the door squeak open, and there are a lot of rustling noises. Your mother yells out, "Don't come in here now!" You see they're both undressed and run back into your room. So yeah, it's obvious what was going on there. Yeah, as I said, there's some situation where it sounds like they're doing that, but it turns out they're watching a comedy movie. Soon after you sit down for dinner, your mother announces that the vegetable of the day is Brussels sprouts. Let's be disgusted and feed them to our dog. No, that's no. We're gonna be the Red screaming from the table. There we go. There we go. Wise guy, your flair for the dramatic will get you into trouble more than once in your life. You may be developing a hysterical personality. You are punished by having to eat your dinner alone in the corner. An exciting movie is on television. The whole family's in the living room watching it. You get up to get a drink of water and return to find all the good seats have been taken. Let's be devious and tell Mom the doorbell's ringing. She falls for it! She rushes to the door and you jump on her seat. When she realizes what you've done, she goes over and sits on top of Dad. Everyone seems a bit happier now. Your dad has promised that he will fix your bicycle. He's taking a nap, so he's not doing anything. Now seems like a good time to remind him. Must be annoying. And make the TV loud. It worked! Now that you've got his attention, look at how wide his eyes are open. You can say something to him. What question would you like to ask him? Dad, would you like to fix my bike? Dad, would you fix my bike now? Let's do that one. Dad says, please, son, don't bother me. I'm taking a nap right now. Ask me again later. You can wait 5 minutes and ask him again. Your perseverance will come in handy in many situations. Unfortunately, this is definitely not one of them. Dad greets you from his sleep with a resounding no that shakes the house. You may cry a little here if you feel that you have to, but it won't help. You arrive at the dentist and discover that you have 4 rather large cavities that need to be filled. You must be frightened and scream in horror. The dentist says, "This won't hurt a bit. Stop being such a baby." The drill sounds like an angry insect. There are tubes hanging out at both corners of your mouth. One of them seems to be sucking out that little piece underneath your tongue. Sucking out that little piece on your tongue. The dentist says, "Now that's not too bad, is it?" You reply, "OBKB." The dentist pays you no mind and keeps drilling away, making idle conversation while you drool all over yourself. On your way out, you notice the dentist's fish tank. Tap on the fish tank. Let's do that. Aha! Revenge is sweet, but in this case very tacky. The next time you come back, you had better hope research on dental techniques has greatly improved. Otherwise, get used to eating soft food. One of your playmates is the daughter of your mother's friend. Her name is Cindy. One day, while you and Cindy are alone, you become very curious about one another. Cindy suggests that you play a make-believe game of doctor. Let's not! Let's be bold and say, let's play trucks instead. Wait, let's freak her out and say, I'll be the doctor first. I'll be the doctor first. And he says, it's my game and I want you to be doctor first. You can quit. Quitting. He says, you're a big baby. I don't want to play with you anymore. She walks away in a huff. Ha! While rummaging around in the kitchen drawer, you come across a book of matches. Let's be curious. And take the matches to your room and close the door. Now that you have the matches in your room, you can... Let's hide the matches. Eventually, you are found out and confronted. Your mom asks, how did this get here? You can say, I don't know. Nothing like adding insult to injury. She found the matches while she was cleaning. You are grounded 1 week for telling a lie and another week for playing with the matches. But I didn't play with them. I was him. Mom. You're in school, and the teacher is giving a boring lecture. The boy sitting 2 seats away is rolling up a piece of paper and putting it in his mouth. Using the barrel of his pen, he spits the paper at the blackboard, where it lands with a wet... The teacher is furious. She screams, "Who did this?" Everyone in class is howling until she promises that if the person who did this will not come forward, the whole class will get a punishment. You are probably the only person who saw the true culprit. Let's be angry and keep quiet. Keeping the anger in will do you no good whatsoever. After all, why should you suffer because of the stupidity of someone else? It's too late to do anything about it now. So what happened? At school, all your friends are talking about a television program that you could not stay up to watch. A friend asks you if you saw it. Let's say, embarrassed. Yeah, I watched it. It was really great. Twin Peaks. Great show. Someone says, did you see the part where he got in the plane and flew it with only one eye? You can. That was not in Twin Peaks, but I was in the bathroom during that part. You got lucky. The show is about a deep-sea creature who ate a local football team, and it had no airplane scenes. You would have looked pretty foolish. Oh, yeah. Because I thought they were talking about Twin Peaks, and it turns out it's this thing. That would have been really embarrassing. You've just been ordered to bed by your parents in the middle of a favorite television show. But, Mom, I'm watching Twin Peaks! Your mother can appreciate the fact that it is not fair for you to have to go to bed during a favorite television show, but finishes her show with sympathy. Her show of sympathy with, but sometimes life just isn't fair. But, Mom, I'm watching Twin Peaks, Mom! It's time to sell raffle tickets for the school baseball team again. Let's be embarrassed and try to do it alone. Going into such an endeavor with these feelings makes you easy to turn down. You spend 3 hours going door to door and sell 4 tickets for the total of $1. The 4th ticket was purchased by your mother. She wins! The grand prize is $500, $250 of which she puts into a bank account with your name. Oh, nice. Your best friend challenges you to a rock throwing competition. Let's do it. Competitive. Accept the challenge. After several minutes of rock throwing, for distance, your friend keeps beating you. Your friend dares you to throw a rock onto the roof of the apartment building across the street. Accept the challenge. You lean back and watch the rock soar. Crash! You guessed it. You can run. You escape without being caught. Bad boy Simon. There is one more ice pop in the freezer that is being saved for another family member. Your mouth waters at the thought of this cool, tasty treat. Hungry. Let's eat the whole thing. The pop is never discovered missing, and the matter is never brought up. Heh. Got away. Well, okay, this vignette is the first... I believe this is... unless the previous one I mentioned in the last video is the case. This... I know for sure that this is an opportunity for your character to die in this game. But I don't want to have Simon die this early on, so I'm not going to have Simon die here. I don't want him to die yet. I want to see if I can get Simon to old age, to die of old age. So I'm going to try that. So while you're outside playing alone, a car pulls over to the side of the road, and the driver motions for you to come over. You notice the license plate says OBO237. Suspicious. Stay where you are. He motions for you to come closer. He has a kind enough face. You can hear him say that he's a policeman looking for a friend of yours. He asks if you will get in and help him find your friend. You can run away. You move away from the man, suspicious that he might not be telling the truth. This is smart. Intellectual sphere rises sharply. This man hurts children. And it's obvious what happens if you get into his car. He's clearly a child molester, and he kills you. That's exactly what happens. He molests you and kills you. You've just turned off the television set, and your room is pitch dark. Through the shadows, you notice that your closet door is open just a crack. You can almost see the image of a black-hooded axe murderer squinting at you through the door. He's waiting for you to close your eyes and fall asleep. In the quiet of the night, you can hear his hoarse breath making deep gurgling sounds. You look away from the door, then look back. It's open a bit farther than it was last time. If you can only make it to the closet and shut the door tight, you know he won't be able to get out and murder you in your sleep. The morning light will destroy him. so you won't have to worry about seeing him when you wake up. Just be calm and sneak out of bed. What? I can't be calm and sneak out of the bed? I can't be brave? Let's just be calm and go to sleep. You don't have much of an imagination, do you? You're only young once. You could be locked up for imagining these things later, so live a little. But I'm not afraid. You will be. You will be. Your friends are all waiting for you to come out after school. You have a ton of homework and you've been watching television since you came home. On your way out, your mother asks, "Did you do all your homework?" Dishonest, yes. You're too young to fool anyone. Your mother checks to see if you have done it. You were grounded for a week. But man, Jill Brady's always untying your shoes and running away. Today she's wearing a skirt. She is bent over, picking up a pile of books from the floor. Let's be mischievous. Seek revenge. You can think of two ways that you can get back at stupid Jill. You can run by and lift her skirt up over her head, and run by and push her so she falls. Now let's do this one. She might die if we push her. You take a big lead and start running toward her. You lift up her skirt and bring it over her head in one neat motion. She looks like such a jerk! Your friends start teasing her. Nice panties, Jill! Revenge is sweet, but watch out. She just might have the last laugh by marrying you one day. See, I know that there's someone by the name of Cindy you can marry. I'm not sure about Jill, but that'd be funny. It's a hot and sunny day. You and a friend are sitting around trying to think of something to do. Dad is sitting in the shade, napping on a chair. You get a great idea. Let's play a practical joke on Dad. Mischievous. Let's let the air out of his tires. Let's do that. Let the air out of his tires. That wasn't mischievous. That was hostile. Dad gets very angry, and the afternoon takes a definite turn for the worse. The boy who sits next to you in school has just passed you a note, folded in a tight square. He motions to you to read it. You look around the room. Mrs. Hennessy, the meanest teacher in the school, has her back to the class. The note says, "What has more crust than the entire surface of the earth?" What? You return the note and wait for another response. The note returns and you read what it says. Mrs. Hennessy's underwear. You can giggle. You can't control your giggling. You get sent to the principal's office for talking in class and spend the afternoon doing a punishment assignment. You are in the candy store buying candy with a $5 bill given to you by your mother. Your bill comes to 50 cents. The man gives you back a change, but no dollars. Be confused and question the man. The man tells you that you gave him a $1 bill. You can disagree. He says, "Come on now, kid. I told you. Now get the out of here." You can just get help. What do you do for help? "Oh, wow, the policewoman's conveniently on the corner." You tell the policewoman the story. She inquires about the incident. The store owner says, "Listen, Toots, the little brat gave me a $1." This is the wrong thing to say to the policewoman. She makes the man check the cash register. He has $4 more than he should. The policewoman calls the station house and finds out that he has done this 3 times in the last week. 2 weeks later, the store is shut down. It was a front for a numbers racket. The store owner is never heard from again. I wonder why. Let's do this one over here. Your mother has given you permission to have a party. You want to invite most of the kids from your class. There's one child you have second thoughts about inviting. His name is Louis Feedback. All the kids call him Louis Feedbag because he is very fat. You mention to your group of friends that you are thinking about inviting Louis. They make faces and pig noises. Some of them say that if you invite the bag, they will stay home. Let's just be angry and invite Louis, because we did express interest in inviting him. And we're not completely mean. We're just villainous. And Louis can be our little toady. You call the kids who don't want him there a bunch of jerks and threaten to beat up anyone who makes fun of Louis at your party. You have shown courage and tolerance for individual differences, and this has made you stronger. So basically we're becoming Magneto or something. Lewis is completely overjoyed. This is the first time he has ever felt like one of the guys. Some of your friends do stay home that night and refuse to speak with you at school. Lewis' mother calls you up and thanks you for being generous. Lewis' mother also happens to be very rich. On your next school vacation, she flies you and Lewis to Hawaii for a week to stay with relatives there. Aloha! You need eyeglasses. The first day you wear them in school, everyone calls you Four Eyes. Your parents refuse to get you contact lenses. Wear the glasses and tolerate the names. This is a villain's origin story. Your social status suggests that you will eventually get the support you need to overcome your self-consciousness from your friends. Your teacher and your mother have traded recipes for an upcoming bake sale. Before you leave school, your teacher asks if you would be kind enough to run a booth at the bake sale, especially for her. Immediately, your friends begin to snicker behind your back. Let's be a wise guy and says, "I'm not gonna do no stupid bake sale." You score big points with your friends. Next time the teacher talks with your mother, she mentions how surprised she was at your behavior. You are an embarrassment to your family. Familial sphere takes a bad drop. Let's take a look how bad it is. Oh, it's 22%. Dang. Youch. We're definitely not gentle at all. We're not trustworthy. You know, and I think adolescents, we're going to try to be good again. We're just going to keep going back and forth. Because that's fun. Melissa Harper's the prettiest girl in your class. You've been giving each other the eye for about 2 weeks now. You are all set to ask her for a date when your best friend, who happens to be taller and better looking than you, confesses that he cannot sleep at night because of her. He asks your advice on the best way to ask her for your date, unaware that you two are smitten by her. Yeah, let's do that. Bringing your feelings out into the open prevents you from acting on them in a destructive way. You can list both, I guess. Why can I say, nope, I'm the only one that can do it. I saw her first. It doesn't sit comfortably for either you or your friend. You both decide that your friendship's more important than a date with Melissa. And the fact that we're only like 10 years old, we don't need to go on any dates yet. Your friend has borrowed $1 from you and has been promising to pay you back for weeks. Every time you ask him for money, he puts you off. So be impatient and have a discussion about the money. Discussion. Oh, I thought I had more knuckles to pop than that. Your impatience causes tempers to flare between you and your friend. He stops speaking with you, and you never get paid back. Well, dang. You know, I'm gonna keep this wholesome. You know, for now. Yeah. I'm gonna keep this playthrough a bit wholesome. You know, because I don't want to get age restricted. Because it does get kind of explicit in a few parts. So yeah. While walking around in the store with your friend, you notice that he sneaks a small item into his pocket. You ask him what he's doing, and he tells you how easy it is to shoplift, saying they never check kids. To be dishonest, steal something. Your trustworthy characteristic shows that you have been devious before. The store manager calls the police, who in turn call your mother. You are grounded for a month. Who founded the American Federation of Labor? I don't know. John Smith? You're not correct. Who was the first vice president? That was John Adams. You're correct. Who was the first ruler to consolidate the Slavic tribes? I don't know. Let's put Berwick. Correct, huh? Which one of the scientists is credited for the discovery of oxygen? I don't know. Let's go with Priestley. Correct, haha. Who was the Great Gatsby? That's F. Scott Fitzgerald. You're correct, huh? Wholesome. Marcus Cripple and the Tubeheads are the most popular rock group with kids your age. Anyone who likes them is in. If you don't like them, or their new hit song, I Love You Blowtorch Eyes, you're a definite geek. Be concerned with peer acceptance. Spend your whole allowance on their new album. You lay it gently on the table and listen to the hard-driving sounds of lead singer Marcus Cripple. I love you, blowtorch eyes. When I kiss you, my heart fries. With your looks, you paralyze. eyes. Put my love on your burner. I'm your biggest yearner. Blood touch eyes. That is so beautiful. You just received $25 as a present. Your mother tells you that you can either put it in your own piggy bank or to give it to her to hold for you. Let's be suspicious and save it for yourself. We don't trust Mom. You don't have the self-control to spend it wisely. When you run out of money and ask your mother for more to go to the movies, she says, "If you would have given me your money in the first place, you would still have some left for the movies. You'll have to stay home now." Mr. Quincy is the toughest teacher in your school. One day you forget to put your homework in with the rest of the items you need for school. Quincy asks where your homework is. You tell him you forgot it. He says, "Come on now, you can be more creative than that." "Why don't you tell me something more believable? Like, Mr. Quincy, I did my homework, but my dog threw up on it." Everyone in class laughs hard at your expense. Mr. Quincy gives you a punishment assignment to do in addition to the work you have not handed in. He says, "What have you got to say for yourself now, mister?" Let's be angry. "Screw you, Mr. Q!" This is the origin story of a villain. So, Mr. Quincy doesn't hear you, but the nerdy Joey Robinson does. He says, "Oh, Mr. Quincy, he just said a bad word." Quincy uses this as an opportunity to suspend you. You lose out on school time and your intellectual sphere drops. The family dog's been acting a little peculiar lately, and no one can figure out why. Some of your fellow family members suggest that maybe he should be given away, or worse, put to sleep. Dad delivers an ultimatum. The dog must shape up or ship out. You are the only one in the house who can take the responsibility for getting him back into shape. Now let's do it. Even though this is the villain origin story, we like dogs. Let's train the dog. You spend every available minute keeping an eye on the dog, rewarding him for good behavior and keeping him out of trouble. One day, when you return home from school, you smell what can only be the dog's byproducts, number 2 to be specific, and the smell is emanating from your parents' bedroom. You enter the bedroom to find the dog sleeping peacefully in the corner, and a sculpture sitting squarely atop Dad's favorite pillow. Fortunately, no one is home. You can dispose of the pillow and play dumb later. Later that evening, everyone gets quizzed on the possible location of Dad's pillow. No one in the house has a motive except the dog. Dad threatens to get rid of the dog. You can tell the story and plead for the dog. Your father becomes furious. He screams, "I knew it! That mangy animals made me miserable for the absolute last time!" The following week, your dog is given to your Uncle Fred. I don't think I've ever been able to save the dog doing that vignette. I don't think I ever have. So, I don't know. I don't know if there is a way to save the dog. Very aggressive boy starts an argument with you and challenges you to a fight after school. Everyone whispers about the big fight. It looks like there will be a large crowd watching. Let's be tough. Show up. The boy shoves you hard in the shoulder, knocking you off balance. He punches you in the face and neck. He's much more used to this kind of thing than you are. Suddenly you see that he has left himself open in the face and stomach areas. A swing in his face! Your fist makes firm contact with the boy's nose. He reels back and falls on the floor. As you stand there breathing heavily, you watch him get up. The crowd is cheering you on. The boy staggers to his feet and is being laughed at by everyone. The boy takes a small but very sharp knife out of his pocket and opens the blade. You can run away. You are a coward. You choose not to risk the danger of getting seriously hurt. This boy was capable of killing you, and might have done so had you chosen to stay and fight him. That boy's name? Scott Farkas. Who's the founder of modern chemistry? I don't know. Louis Pasteur. Not correct. Who's the founder of modern psychiatry? That's Freud. You're correct. Who was the first American in space? Alan Shepard. Correct. Who was the inventor of the telegraph? Morse. You're correct. Who was the Austrian-born founder of the Ethical Culture Society? I don't know. This sounds Austrian. Not correct. Who takes over the Speaker of the House? Correct. Latest craze is wearing a dog collar around your neck with a t-shirt proclaiming your dog name. You have just spent $5 on a shirt that says Fifi Rex, the Mad Mongrel. and have borrowed one of your dog's collars, but the dog got given away. On the way out of the house, your mother says, Okay, let me start over there. On your way out of the house, your mother says, "Do you think you are going out to school with that ridiculous get-up on?" Inattentive. You can't hear over the sound of how awesome I am. Your mother's furious because you ignored her. She tells you that if you want to act like a dog, you'll be treated like one. You are forced to eat your meals from a special dog dish with your dog name written on it for the next 3 days. You can tell this game was made in the 80s. You ask Mom if you can climb the big rock in the park with a group of friends. She says no. I think this is another chance to die. Was it leave to fight and ask Dad, though? No, crafty and ask Dad. Sure, son, just be careful. You can have second thoughts. I guess you felt a bit guilty about that kind of deception. Besides, it could have caused an argument between your mom and dad. You acted responsibly. I don't know for sure if that's a vignette you can die on. Like the one with the kid with the knife. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't know if you can die on that one. But this one, I know for sure that if you listen to Mom, one of your friends dies from that. It is springtime and love is in the air. You've been thinking about Susie Marsh night and day and have finally mustered the courage to write her a love letter. Oh boy. Susie is every boy's dream. She's only 10, but she has the body of an 11-year-old. Cringe. You have the letter in your hand. You must be confident and give it to her. Walk right up and give it to her. Be bold. I like your style. Thanks. According to your status sheet, your social skills are strong. Susie's flattered, but regrets to inform you that you are simply not her type. How do you feel about this? I'm ticked. I'm crushed. Origin story for a villain. Seems that your social skills are just a cover-up for a lack of confidence. You are the type who does things for other people and not yourself. Examine this in yourself and see if it makes sense to you. Awesome. Sorry, guys. There is an elderly woman who lives in a house up the street. Everyone calls her the witch. Some people say she's really paranoid, calling the cops on kids all the time and screaming out the window, even when there is nobody there. At night, she keeps her light on all the time and sits looking out the window. For the past few days, the light has been off. Some of the kids think she's just dead in there or something. They jump in front of her house and sing, "Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead." Pretty sure it's not how it goes. I'm pretty sure this wicked witch is dead. Whatever. And laugh. Be happy and sing with everyone else. Sometimes children don't realize how mean they can be. The woman can hear you taunting her outside and spends her days crying, wishing for her life to come to a peaceful end. Then she could be with the people whom she loved and who loved her. 3 years later, she really does pass away, although no one in the neighborhood notices. That's sad. And on that note, our childhood ends. That was our rite of passage, was making fun of an old lady. Family life is progressing poorly. You don't seem to have the strong contact with your family that helps provide the foundation for good relationships later. Physically, you are not very healthy. Be careful to avoid situations that could lead to illness. Socially, this can be an awkward phase of life, especially when you hit the ripe old age of 9 or 10. Should you like girls? Should you not like girls? Decisions. All in all, you are extremely lovable. You are well-mannered and respectful of adults, really. I may be mistaken, but I see a little bit of a Casanova in training. Now, regarding your emotional and personality development, your trustworthiness and sense of fair play are commendable. No, I'm not an honest child. You're an honest child, but no tattletale. But we're not an honest child. That's when we're an honest child in this module. The degree to which you display aggressive types of behavior is somewhat alarming. You can be nasty and spiteful at times. You're about to enter adolescence. It is a somewhat hectic time of life, full of surprises. There will be many very high heights and many low lows. With each year, you gain responsibilities. You may also notice that people will begin to start forgiving you less for things previously described as mere childhood habits. You'll be expected to leave your burping and other questionable talents in the social circles where they are unanimously approved of, your peer group. Oh yes, then there's the matter of girls. If you haven't noticed them much in this phase, watch out. They've noticed you. Okay, we're on adolescence. So next video, we will go through Simon's adolescence. I'm going to try to keep the game open until next time I play, so we can continue with the same Simon, but there is no guarantee whatsoever, because apparently the game doesn't save. So, yeah. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.